You ever find yourself on a Sunday afternoon, you just binged like 3 hours of productivity videos, and then you look up and realize you haven't actually done a single thing? It's this super weird paradox, right? The more of this productive content we soak up, the less we actually seem to get done. So in this explainer, we're going to break down this trap, why it's so dang easy to fall into, and, most importantly, how to get out of it.
So that brings us to a pretty provocative question. What if all those hours you're spending with the productivity gurus and the self-help podcasts, what if they're not helping at all? I mean, what if it's really just a very, very sophisticated way to procrastinate? Let's just entertain the idea that what feels like learning is actually just a cozy way to avoid doing the hard stuff.
And look, this isn't just a random guess. It's a real growing problem. People are watching more self-help stuff than ever, but it's just not leading to real benefits. There's this huge gap between all the watching and all the doing, and that's the puzzle we're going to try and solve today.
Okay, so let's start with what I'm calling the self-help paradox. We're going to dive right into the psychology of how our own brains can trick us into feeling super productive even when we're basically just spinning our wheels. You know how it starts. It's this one tiny, sneaky thought. You're taking a break, you're scrolling on your phone, and you think, hey, instead of watching cat videos, I'll watch something useful. It feels so smart, right? Like you're hacking your downtime. But that little justification, that's the front door to the entire trap.
Now that sneaky thought feels totally innocent, but it plays directly into how all this content is actually made. See, the problem isn't just in our heads, it's that the content itself is literally engineered to be consumed, not to be applied in the real world. And this lays out the fundamental conflict perfectly. Your goal, as the viewer, is to actually improve your life so you eventually stop needing the content. But the platform's goal is the complete opposite. It's to keep you watching and watching and watching. Their success is measured by your screen time, not your personal growth.
And this is the absolute key. Success for this content is not measured by whether your life actually gets better. No, it's measured by clicks, by watch time, and by how entertaining it is. I mean, think about it. Creators aren't running scientific studies to see if their advice works. They're A/B testing thumbnails to see what keeps you watching. So this whole system works so well because it plugs right into a deep psychological barrier we all have. We're going to explore why watching this stuff feels so good. And the reason is, it lets us pretend that real meaningful change can happen without any real cost. Without effort or discomfort or sacrifice.
So when we consume self-help as a sort of bonus while we're doing the dishes or waiting for the bus, our brain gets this really dangerous idea. It starts to believe that improvement can be free. We think we can get all the benefits without paying any of the actual costs, like time and effort, and let's be honest, feeling uncomfortable. And that, right there, is a massive problem.
Psychologists have a word for this exact feeling. It's called ambivalence. It's that internal tug-of-war where one part of you really wants to change, but another part of you really, really doesn't. You want to run the marathon, but you definitely don't want to get up for those 5 a.m. training runs. This productive content lets us feed the wanting part, so we never have to deal with the doing part.
Oh, the gym membership analogy is just perfect for this. So it's January, you sign up, you're feeling great. You're buying a future benefit, the beach body, better health. It feels like it's all reward, zero cost. But then you actually have to go to the first workout. And suddenly, it's all cost. It's sweat, it's being sore. And that future benefit feels like it's a million miles away. That gap between the immediate pain and the delayed reward, that's exactly where our motivation goes to die. Okay, so if just passively watching stuff is the trap, what's the way out? Well, this brings us to our last and, honestly, most important section, putting action before content.
This slide just lays it all out. On the left, you've got the trap we've been talking about, the ineffective model. You consume content, you kind of hope for change, and you get stuck. The solution is to flip it completely on its head. The effective model on the right says you take action first. You try something, you fail, you hit a specific problem, and then, only then, do you go looking for content that solves that immediate, real-world issue.
It really just boils down to this one simple principle. The work, the energy investment, the cost, that has to come first. Watching content comes second, as a tool to help you with the work you're already doing, not as a replacement for it.
I mean, think about it like this. Nobody becomes a great cook by just binge-watching cooking shows. You become a great cook by actually trying to cook, by messing up, by burning the carrots, and then searching for a specific video on how to grill carrots without turning them into charcoal.
The action itself created the need for that very specific knowledge. So at the end of the day, it comes down to a clear choice. If you are serious about improving, you have to separate that activity from just passive entertainment. Real improvement is focused, it's intentional work. It's not something that just happens in the background. So you have to decide, are you learning with the intent to actually apply it, or are you just being entertained? Be honest with yourself. It's so important not to confuse the two.
So I'll just leave you with this thought. The next time you get that urge to improve something in your life, just stop for a second and change the question you ask yourself. Instead of asking, what should I watch to get better? Ask yourself, what is the very first, very small thing I can do?